Alan, you're black.
Yeah, my wife likes me that way.
No, there's no picture. Oh, there it is. All right. Oh, we just about had a technical snafu, but we didn't. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is the 10% in 10 minutes, not the 10 minutes in 10% daily YouTube options trading class, show, whatever it is. I'm Scott, he's Alan. We think minutes every day of examples of where, if you knew what you were doing, you could make 10 or more percent in 10 or less minutes, usually. We've got 2 courses, they're down below. Discount for you if you want to join and start making some changes in your lives. So Alan, this is May 15th, 2015. Are we able to continue our streak?
Well, considering that there's people that we know that are making money every day in the market, I think yes. You know, and they're using the same software and pretty much the same rules. So this one, GMCR, you know, and they're using the same software and pretty much the same rules. So this one, GMCR, we talk about gaps because it's an important topic. This one gapped down a fair bit on this day. And so gaps you got to treat different, but occasionally I like to mention them just so that people, if you don't know what you're doing, you stay away from them. In a case like this, here you can see it pop down and then came back up, but I think it's going to go lower because of the nature of it. Even though the market is a bit on the green side, I think it's going to go lower, and I got at least $1 before I hit my next target price. Now this was a big drop, so I know what to do with gaps. We're going to go forward 1 minute, but you've got lots of volume. It's going to go your way. Now, lots of volume here. So if you've got a mediocre kind of market thing going on, but you've got lots of volume, it's going to go your way, not what the market is, because the market isn't pushing. So this stock, we're already up 7% in 1 minute. I liked it because it broke a new low, the 945 zone. So how much more can it go? Well, it's 16%, and that's enough for me. So we're done. After 10 o'clock, are there any trades? Okay, well, let's look at this one here. Now this one's a little bit unusual. See, that was the high right there in that part of the day. It dipped down, it came back. I still have now this one's a little bit unusual. See, that was the high right there in that part of the day. It dipped down, it came back. I still have a strong trending signal. And this is the style that Steve trades. He does a small variation on his rules. And that is that you got K still have the trend indicator on. He would get into that trade. I was watching it here. I backed up 1 minute to see what it would do. If it breaks above, I'm in, especially if the market's green. So this is a different part of the same day. So I got strong K-band. So I hit the buy button here at the top of that candle. And the only resistance I think I'm going to see is this business here. So let's see what happens with 1 minute. Now remember, still sideways. And like, well, should I get out? I should be ready to get out. But notice that this stock on the 7-day view, look to the left, says I'm still good. 1 more minute, still sideways. Now I'm loving it. Now I know that this thing's going to go because it's made it past the 1030 turnaround sideways. Now I'm loving it. Now I know that this thing's going to go because it's made it past the 1030 turnaround when it brings. Well, you see it's struggling. Is it going to make it? Struggling. So this is the thing when you get into trades that are a little bit weak. And this is the point where I would normally, if I didn't like it, I'd get out here and get 3%, get out basically with my money. We didn't say trading is like super easy, did we? There's a little bit of practice, a little bit of training. So here we go. I'm going to go forward. Super easy, did we? There's a little bit of practice, a little bit of training. So here we go. I'm going to go forward one more. You can see the K-band color still here and the background tint color still here. This is the kind of stuff that's why we do the training and the practice is what's, and we've said that before in other videos, that so I don't need to guess. I'm just looking. So this one's taking longer. And we've said that before in other videos that if you want to make your 10% after 10 o'clock or 10:30. Sometimes it takes longer. So what am I going to do? I'm waiting. See, it's up to my 10%. I'm out. So it's very simple. I'm not waiting all day and wondering what to do. I'm looking for it to break here to the positive or here to a small profit. One more there, 9%. Let's see what one more candle does. Boom, I got a bonus because when it jumped up somewhere in this time period, I would have got paid at 10% or out at 3%. Maybe it goes further. I don't care. I'm going to take my pay. So we got one more for afternoon trade. So, part of the conversation is, how long do I have to wait for a trade? Well, the training course talks about that in detail. It makes it really easy. We're going to go look at one for the afternoon. This one, we're going to look at 11:45. There's an opportunity there. We're just going to bring that up for you here and see what that looks like. And then we're going to look at one that's much later in the afternoon. So here what that looks like. And then we're going to look at one that's much later in the afternoon. So here we are, 11:45. This is broken a new low for the day. It's below a target price. The market is kind of pinkish. It's not really red. The market's been mostly sideways. So you want to get out before lunch probably, unless it's. I'm going to buy the put because I've got decent volume here and it's at a new low and the market's generally red, and this says red's a good idea. So we're going to go forward here and it's like, ouch, -3, -4, -7, -8. See, I've almost had to get kicked out. I'm still below the mag line. This is the kind of stuff you have to tolerate when you're doing trades that are in the afternoon. You can wobble around and go slow, especially when the market's weak. Here it's slightly against you, ever so slightly. In the training course, if it was below that, it'd be much stronger. All this stuff's explained in detail in the training course. Now it starts to run. Now you can see the K-band's on. It's breaking new territory to the bottom, and we're getting really close to the 7-day low. So there you go, 15%, because what? All of a sudden, it just starts to fall down strongly. So it's quite likely to bounce. That's 62.50, and our price here is 62.59. So it's quite likely to bounce and get some support in very short order. I don't care. I got my money and I'm out, and that's it. And I'm going to show you the same stock again because this one's great for that demo purpose. It's like, well, what's it like in the afternoon trading? Good. Well, let's go look at that. So here, we'll look at almost 2 o'clock. It'll be 1:40. We got another signal right there. Down the bottom, it's broken a new low. It's got signal color. It's got great volume. Everything about this would be a good trade, except that it's done 130% of its move already. Which I generally tell people don't get unless you've got lots of practice. So here we go. It still looks good. Like I always tell people, don't get unless you've got lots of practice. So here we go. It still looks good. Like I was saying, it's a free fall if it breaks the 7-day, and the 7-day you can see is right there. It's just running down. So let's see what it actually does. I'm moving forward. A little bit positive, a little bit negative, right? It's the new low. I'm moving forward here. Wrap it up for today and just say, well, how'd you do and how long did it take? So you have a comparison. So in the morning, GMCR, 2 minutes, 16%. Then your later morning, half hour. In the morning, GMCR, 2 minutes, 16%. Then your later morning, hour to get 14%. And then here, still in the later morning, it's another half hour to get 14%. And then here, it's almost a half hour to get 11%. So this is the point about why we recommend the times a day or the better time. is because it's just pure statistics. And we have all that statistics right here. It's like, well, you don't need to look at all that. And that's covered in the course too. We explain that you don't need to look at this, and we tell you where the sweet spots are. It's in the morning right here in this part of the day. Later on, it gets kind of flat and boring and doesn't move as strongly.
That's right. So the fast money is earlier in the day. The slow money is later in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're...
So there can be some problems when you're trading on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're somebody that buys options, which is all that we ever do, noon market time, they start assigning people to the contract that the option is. And this is why we say you got to be out of whatever trades you're in if it expires essentially in a few hours from now, because we trade the nearest expiry dates, except when it is Friday, we at least before noon would go switch to the next week. There's lots of liquidity there. It's all available. It's not a problem. It's just a small thing. It's kind of like when you see the yellow plan and go look for next week's options.
So you were telling me before we went on the air that you knew somebody who had an option and got assigned. Something is assigned. Like, what does assigned mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What that is the brokerage house. They're the ones that handle all your...
Something is assigned. Like, what does assigned mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What that is the brokerage house. They're the ones that... This is why you don't cross certain lines. This isn't meant to be scary. It's meant to be just so you know what you're... This is why you don't cross certain lines. They got assigned, meaning that they had a call option and it was in the money. So if it's in the money and it's after lunchtime, 12:01 on a Friday, and it expires on Friday, if it's in the money, they may just say, okay, great, we're going to give you these shares of XYZ Corp or whatever it is. So they actually had to have $55,000 in their account.
Ouch.
Yeah. Now, these particular people, they had 20, which was fine. You know, they were not that experienced with trading, so they don't have a big account. That's what happens. So if they would have had more contracts with a bigger account, they would have still got slammed even harder. So that's where we go. If you're trading options, get out of whatever it is. If it's expiry day, get out by noon and start. We automatically, with the live version, there's a setting that's set to show you next Friday's options when it's Friday. I don't even care about noon. It just automatically says, listen, it's Friday. We're looking at next, and let's go look at the, you know, the liquidity of these things, and all that stuff is right there for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alan. So enjoy the weekend. Hope you enjoyed this, everybody. You've learned that it's possible to make 5% in 10 minutes, or in this particular case, a little bit longer. Couple courses that you can find out more about how to do this. If you're new to options, just go below, and in the bottom right hand corner of the screen here on the video, we have our subscribe button. We don't want you to miss any of our exciting episodes, so please subscribe. Leave a comment if you have a question down below, and hopefully we'll see you in the courses, and we can convert you from 8 hours a week, if that's what's happening right now, to working 40 minutes a week. That's our goal. Thank you, Alan, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Right now to working 40 minutes a week. That's our goal. Thank you, Alan, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for joining us.